In today's video, I'm going to be changing the engine mounts. Here are the new ones, and taking out the old ones. Let's check out the old engine mounts. This is the left-hand side engine mount. Not in the best of conditions. And this is the right-hand side engine mount. And this one's really obviously damaged. This one's behind or underneath the alternator and the air conditioner compressor, so it's a little bit harder to get to. And you can see the damage here as well as on the other side. The minimum amount of tools you're going to need is a jack, a piece of wood, two 14mm spanners and a 17mm spanner, and an 18mm spanner as well, but we'll get to that later. I've set up the jack underneath the engine on the sump with a piece of wood to protect the sump, not to make a dent in it. To me, this is not ideal, and if you don't have a piece of timber to go in between, don't use that location. There is 2 bolts and nuts, plus a nut per side per engine mount. We'll start underneath the vehicle and remove the 2 nuts and bolts from the engine mounts on both sides of the engine mount itself. And then the top nut, which you will need a 17mm spanner to undo. However, the new engine mounts have a bolt supplied or nut supplied in this location, and it's 18mm spanner, so you'll need that. And this is the right hand side underneath the alternator, 17mm there on the old nut. With all the nuts and bolts removed and engine supported, I'm going to remove the old engine mounts. And they come out in 2 pieces. This is the easy to get to right hand side. And this is what the engine mounts look like. And I'll pull them out. Totally shot. Let's make sure the new one is the same as what we pulled out. And it is. And this is how the new one goes in. Like that. And then push the engine out of the way. So I get it in like that sideways, and then by hand move the engine towards the other side, and that's nice. Goes back in. Was the left hand side engine mount, and to get to the right hand side engine mount I had to put another jack up against the block on this tab and lift it from the right hand side to get to this one, hard to get one. And this one came out in 2 pieces as well. There is a bit less room on the right hand side to work with. And this is how the old engine mount that just came out looks like. Again, 2 pieces. The new engine mount does look like the correct replacement. Visual check. Let's see how that goes in. Second engine mount on the alternator side. The top goes in first. like that. Now slowly drop the engine a little bit. At this point in time it's a good idea to locate the engine mount on its dowel and install the nut before lowering the engine for the other two nuts and bolts. Now this engine mount on the side with the alternator and the aircon compressor, this one was a bit of a pain to get in. At one stage it looked like it might not even be for this application, but what I've ended up doing is realigning the motor while having it lifted at the front on that tab on the engine. I've also located the back jack under the bell housing on the opposite side to the tab at the front. Sorry about the shoddy camera work here. And I was able to straighten out the engine to make that engine mount fit in its spot. So that's both bolts in and the nut in, just a matter of tightening it off. Same on the other side. I'll just torque off that nut. And now I'm going to drop the engine on both jacks. What's left to do now is torque off these two bolts and nuts, two nuts per side. And that's the second one, as well as the other side. So I'm going to torque it off with these. Yeah, you need two hands for this. And finish it off by hand with just regular spanners. That machine only goes up to about 32 Newton meters, so that's why. And with the other side all torqued off as well. The job is done and finished. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next or the previous video.